Hello, Ikhwan. This is Yahya again. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is another video on the Hijrah. The Hijrah, when I finally got it together to take my family and I to the Gulf states and work and then try to hang on as much as possible without resulting in going back to the United States. Uh, it was it was easy because I got a really fairly good job, and I was able to afford to bring my family and for us to live well. Well, what happened was, of course, jobs don't last forever, and you'll find yourself in being tried by law by your provision. And a lot of people just kind of packed up and went back, thinking that they've tried to make a go of it, and they didn't, and now they had to go back to what is familiar and where they thought their risk was. But I had made a commitment to make this journey and to call myself a muhajir for the rest of my life. And I began to think about what that really meant. And it doesn't necessarily, we're always striving. There's not really right now a place that they're really practicing pure Islam, but the most you can do is to remain mobile in pursuit and active in pursuit of a place to practice your Islam and try to roll with the punches. So I just had an interesting experience. I've been in Saudi for about 11 years. I've and I've had many jobs, and there's always a law. You have to rely on a law in order to do this, because sometimes Allah tests you by bringing things down to the last moment. These last moment refuges, these last minute saves that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does to test your resolve into following His deen and not to give up. And most of all, I think that I'm beginning to understand this is not necessarily a thing about uh, your. It's not necessarily a thing about committing to an idea as much as trusting in Allah and realizing Allah is the source of your risk, and the resources are all provided by Allah. And He gives you things in order to see if you will uh, give these things in pursuit of His pleasure. And so this last time I was on, basically they have an Iqama system where you have a sponsor, and I hadn't been able to find a job, and I was down to the last. They put me on final exit, and I hadn't received any job offers in 3 months, but I kept trying. No one would give me a job. And finally, I just kept getting up at night and praying. And I had made of course, I tied my camel. I had made an exit strategy. And I was looking forward to spending time in another country that was less, where the people may be less difficult and the weather was very nice. But if such a place existed. But I think I just found a place that the weather was different. People were more difficult, but at least I would be able to pray in the masjid and I wouldn't be persecuted for my religion as I was in the United States. So at the last minute, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved me from myself, and I was able to find another job, and I'm on site now. I'm actually a teacher. And I have, this is my second day teaching at the moment, but the students haven't come yet. So I decided to take this time to make a video on this. And it's very difficult doing this being as a traveler in this world, because Allah is always testing your resolve to see if you're worthy of it and actually you really believe. And I was telling my wife I'd rather die than to go back to where we were. And she feels the same way. And this was very important to us. The only thing I can say is that when you do this, you cannot. Islam was you have to remember that Islam was established on a bowl of rice, not in a Cadillac. And if you think that being uncomfortable in whatever situation that Allah puts you through is unacceptable, then you're going to have a hard time with this. But what do you have to lose except the hereafter? So please like my video and follow me, inshallah. And I hope you have a nice day, and may Allah bless you and guide you. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.